Hello everyone, my name is Jeb Smith. I'm a real estate broker here in Huntington Beach for over 15 years, and chances are you're watching this video because you're either considering moving to Huntington Beach or you've heard somebody talking about Huntington Beach and you want more information. So in today's video, we're going to do a deep dive into Huntington Beach if you're considering moving here. Doesn't matter if you're looking to purchase or maybe get into a rental for a short period of time. There are some things that you should know about Huntington Beach if you've never been here before, or maybe you have been, but you just don't know all the ins and outs. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of that. We're going to talk about the pros of Huntington Beach, what's good about it, but we're also going to talk about some of the downsides, the cons, if you will. Because there are some things that, from an outside looking in, you would never see. And there are things that you may need to consider if you're planning on making that move to Huntington Beach. Now, chances are you have an idea of Huntington Beach already. You probably know that we're known as Surf City, USA because of the great surf that we have here. You probably also know that we're located next to a beach, if you will, but also within driving distance of the mountains, which makes it a very, very desirable place because you can both surf and ski in the same day. We have 10 miles of uninterrupted coastline, which is the most of any place in California, and we're kind of centrally located in between LA, which is only about 45 minutes away, and San Diego, which is just about an hour away. But some of the things that you might not know, which I want to talk about in more detail, is our schools. If you're moving here, it's probably something that you want to know more about if you have kids or planning on having kids. And we have a very good school district, one of the top in Orange County with regards to elementary, middle, and high schools. So the school district is great. It's really hard to go wrong depending on where you end up in Huntington Beach. So that's a huge plus. But one thing when thinking about Huntington Beach and where you may plan on living is that Huntington Beach is actually broken down into 4 different areas, primarily from a real estate standpoint, but it's something that, is good to keep in mind if you're out there looking. One of those areas is South Huntington Beach. Now, South Huntington Beach is that area that's located, borders Fountain Valley, borders Costa Mesa, and kind of butts up against the ocean there. And then you have West Huntington Beach, which is essentially our downtown area. That would be where the Huntington Beach Pier, Main Street is located. Then you have the Huntington Beach Fountain Valley border. Now this is a little further north away from the beach, sidelines to Fountain Valley and closer to the freeway. And then you have Northwest Huntington Beach, which is essentially the Huntington Harbor area. Now, this is the area that is probably closest to the freeway for most of those that live in Huntington Beach, and a desirable area if you're a boater or somebody that wants to live on the water in Huntington. Now, while we're on that same topic, Huntington Beach has 4 different zip codes that correspond with those areas. The first I mentioned was South Huntington Beach. That is the 92646 zip code. And then you have the downtown area, which is our 92648 zip code. And again, that's not just downtown. It does span a little bit away from downtown as well, but that's the 92648 zip code. Then you have the Fountain Valley border, kind of central Huntington Beach zip code, which is 92647. And then as you move northwest into Huntington Beach, you have the 92649 zip code. So now that you kind of have your bearings in Huntington Beach, if you're considering moving here or thinking about moving here, you kind of know the areas. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of moving to a city like Huntington Beach. Now, Huntington Beach is a city of just over 200,000 people, but it's one that has a sense of community. So while we're, on the larger sides of cities, we still have this huge sense of community. People come together to support each other. There are a lot of cities in Orange County where people don't know their neighbors. I've lived several places in Huntington Beach and I've become really, really good friends with a lot of my neighbors. So you have that great sense of community, which is awesome. You have the school district, which we already talked about. So the schools are very, very good. You have the weather, so chances are if you're considering Huntington Beach or Southern California at all, you know that our weather is probably the best part about living in California. But we also have some cons, some downsides of living in a city like Huntington Beach. And the first is going to be location to the freeway. So if you live near the beach, which most people when they move to Huntington Beach want to be close to the beach, the idea that you can be close to the beach is one of the most desirable parts about moving to Huntington Beach. But the closer you are to the beach, the further you are from the freeway. So it makes it difficult if you're somebody that's on the road all the time. If you have to travel to say LA or San Diego, the closer you are to the beach, the longer it's going to take you to get to the freeway. Now, there are some, hacks, if you will, if you live in Northwest Huntington Beach, closer to the harbor area that I mentioned, or closer to the freeway. Huntington does side to the freeway. Those areas can put you a lot closer to the freeway, but at the same time, they might put you further away from the beach. So it's depending on where you want to be, what's important to you may decide where you purchase. But keep in mind that if you're near the beach, that could be a downside. Another thing is traffic. With people moving into the city over the years and in high density development with regards to rentals, etc., traffic has become more of an issue. And with that, we have stoplights. And so when I mentioned how long it takes to get to the freeway, it's not necessarily the distance to the freeway, it's the time that it takes you because of the stoplights, because of the traffic, which can make for, a more difficult drive. So that would be a downside. Another downside would be, when the weather is nice, people want to come to the beach. So you always have tourists, you always have people coming into the city on the weekends when it's nice out, which only adds to the traffic. It adds to, parking issues, but it also adds to the potential riffraff. When you have people coming into the city that don't live here, they don't care about the city the way that you do, and so that can create problems with people coming into the city. And another thing would be the homeless, right? Over the years, the last couple of years, as things have gotten more expensive, the homelessness has become more of a problem. So you're starting to see more and more homeless out and about. Now, I wouldn't say that it directly affects, a lot of the people I know on a daily basis, but it is something to be aware of because you might be out and about in some of these areas near the pier or out just walking around and you start to notice more of that. So it's something that I feel like I should point out. Now, in addition to those pros and cons, I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about some of the highlights of Huntington Beach, what we have to offer as a city, things that you can do if you're thinking of coming into town just to visit, or if you're considering moving here. Now we have the Huntington Beach Pier, which we're the most famous for. At the end of the pier, you have Ruby's, which you can eat out on the pier. But that seems to be the focal point of Huntington Beach is the pier, because we have great beaches. There's great waves. There's a lot of people out and about during different times of the year. There's always events going on the beach that keep you entertained and allow you different things to do. In addition, downtown area, we also have Pacific City, which is a shopping restaurant development down on the beach on Pacific Coast Highway. And this offers everything from shopping to dining to, just being able to get out and about. There's hotels located there as well. And in addition, you have Dog Beach. A lot of people come to Huntington Beach from different cities because we have a dedicated dog beach where you can actually take your dog out on the beach, let them run in the sand, play in the water along with other dogs, which most beaches in Orange County don't have. And that's why you see a lot of people coming to Huntington Beach specifically for Dog Beach. In addition, we have areas like Bellaterra, which has, shopping, dining, movie theaters. So the city as a whole has a lot to offer. And those are just some of the highlights. That's not everything the city has to offer, but those are things that I feel like are important to a lot of people coming here. But if you have additional questions about real estate, about Huntington Beach in general, you want more information, you want to know what areas are more desirable than others, or you just have questions that you want answered, do me a favor, reach out to me directly. I'm happy to assist you in that process, be your guide for anything related to Huntington Beach. And more specifically, if you're looking to purchase in Huntington Beach, reach out to me directly. Again, I've been doing this for 15 years. I know the community very, very well, and I'm happy to guide you in the right direction so that you can make informed decisions. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I appreciate your support. Hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.